Hello, Cancer. Welcome to Intuitive Gems. My name is Desiree, and I'm going to be doing your money, wealth, finance, prosperity, abundance reading for the month of March 2020. Before we get started, I do want to say thank you all for your well wishes and your positive messages when I was sick pretty much the entire month of January. I just want to say all of your, like I said, positive messages were very much appreciated and definitely helped with my recovery and healing. So thank you so much. For the readings this month, I'm going to be using my Trippin' Waite Tarot deck. For clarifiers, I will use my Radiant Rider-Waite Tarot deck. And then, Cancer, I am going to close out your reading with an Angels and Ancestors Oracle card. Now, if this is your first time catching one of my videos, I do invite you to subscribe because I do these readings each and every month, and I would love to share your money message with you. And another thing you may also notice is that I read jumper cards, which means sometimes I should say most of the time, if not all of the time, when I am shuffling the deck, you will see cards literally fly out or flip over. Those are the cards that I choose to read because I believe those are the cards that have a specific message that we definitely need to pay attention to. So let's go ahead and get right to it. What do we need to know for the sign of Cancer as it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance for the month of March 2020? What do we need to know for the sign of Cancer? What do we need to know for the sign of Cancer as it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, abundance, career, work, money? I feel like I need one more card for you, Cancer. What do we need to know for the sign of Cancer for March 2020? I just need one more card for Cancer, please. There we go. All right, Cancer. Well, the nice thing that I can see right off the bat from these cards here is that the worst is over. I can tell that you have been going through a very challenging time. Some things have been very, very painful, especially as it relates to finances, to work, to career, to business. You've just really had a lot of things kind of hit you hard. Because the Tower is in the reverse position, like I said, that tells me that the worst is over and you are starting to rebuild. You are starting to kind of get things back together. You know, you're starting to put the pieces back in place. However, it was just kind of, I want to say, an uphill battle for you for most of the time. But like I said, the good thing is that you are coming through it. You are overcoming, and you actually are rebuilding, and you're much more stable and you're much more stronger, and you're definitely going to feel that as we move into the first week of March. But let's look at the other cards that we have here. We also have the Eight of Wands upright, Three of Pentacles upright, Ace of Cups upright, the Emperor in reverse, and then we also have the Queen of Wands also in the upright position. Now, like I said, I can tell the worst is over, and as you move into that first week of March, you're definitely going to be feeling like you finally kind of have control again. Not that we totally have complete control over our circumstances, but for the most part, we can pretty much gauge, certain things that we're doing that are working and certain things that are not working. And you're really getting clear and you're really getting more focused on what it is that you need to do in order to set yourself up for a much more powerful and profitable situation for yourself and for your family, for your business and for, everything in life that you definitely are trying to kind of work towards, especially as it relates to your goals. Now we have the Eight of Wands here in the upright position, and this tells me that things are going to move very, very quickly. Almost quickly, or so quickly, to the point where you may feel a little nervous, or you may feel a little overwhelmed, or even uncomfortable, because you're just not used to things kind of shifting so fast. But just trust and know that things are definitely moving in your favor, especially in that first week of March 2020. Now you also have the Three of Pentacles here. This means that, whatever it is that you were working on, or, maybe at your job or in your career, people are definitely taking notice, and they're starting to reach out to you because they want to connect, or they want to work with you in some way. They also are kind of recognizing the talent and the skills and the abilities that you have, and they really can see some potential there. They really can see that there is an opportunity not only for you to benefit from, but also a mutual beneficial thing. Now, this could also mean a job, collaboration, or it could mean if you're trying to branch out for, say business or something of, that nature. Maybe you're trying to start a business, or you're trying to kind of rebrand in some way. You definitely have people taking notice, and you definitely have people who want to work with you in some way, shape, or form. Now, this is a really good thing because it also says that you have the choice of whether or not you want to work with someone. Now, you could be the solopreneur type where you're just not interested in really partnering with anybody at this time. But the good thing is that you will have the opportunity to do so if that is something you are interested in. Now, we also have the Ace of Cups here. The Ace of Cups is another positive, beautiful card. So like I said, the worst is over. As we move into that first week of March, you're really going to feel kind of like things are starting to really balance themselves out. Not only is work and money starting to kind of fall into place and set you up in a much more stable and secure position, but you also have the emotional side of things really working in your favor. And you're really going to feel that, like I said, in the first week of March. The Ace of Cups is a new beginning. It's also ultimate healing. It's also releasing some things that may not have necessarily served you well, or maybe it's just time that you're ready to embrace a change. But the Ace of Cups, like I said, is all about kind of having that emotional stability. And that's very important, especially when it comes to our money. We don't want to make decisions, especially financial decisions, based on emotions. However, because your emotions are strong, you're feeling stable, you're feeling in balance, it allows you to have much more clarity when it comes to money-making decisions. Now, we also have the Emperor here in the reverse position. This tells me that there could have been some things, or there may be some things coming up that you're going to have to probably seek some assistance with. Okay, now this could be work related. It can also be something business related. But there's definitely going to be a situation or a circumstance where you're going to have to seek outside help. Don't rely on, your own knowledge or your own abilities when it comes to whatever this situation is. You really need to do some research, seek counsel if you can. Also, too, you just want to be careful that you don't ignore signs that could, or don't ignore signs that may be causing you to feel a little bit uneasy. Okay, don't totally rely on yourself. You need to reach out and you need to get support in some way, shape, or form. And you are going to know what this is all about, like I said, once we move into the beginning of March. Now we have the Queen of Wands here. The Queen of Wands is a very stable, grounded energy. She's also someone who is ready to kind of move forward on something. She feels like she's got all her ducks in a row. She's done the research, she's made some decisions. She's kind of put things in place in order to move forward in a smoother, easier way. She's also very efficient. She doesn't waste time. She doesn't waste energy. She doesn't waste money. It's just someone who is very much good at adulting, so to speak. And so, Cancer, you are definitely going to kind of, once you kind of smooth things out, like I said, you've kind of work through some things and you're starting to see opportunities arise, you're definitely going to be very clear-headed and you're going to be very level-minded as you move into March and you start making decisions as they relate to your money. Okay. So what else do we need to know for the sign of Cancer? As it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance. So you're definitely going to get a message or some news or information as it relates to work as we move into that second week of March. And I say that because, number one, you have 3 knights here. Then we have the Page of Wands. The Page of Wands is news, information, an announcement of some sort. This is going to happen probably towards the end of the second week of March or as we move into the second half of the month. Excuse me, but let's go ahead and take a look at all the cards here. We have the Knight of Cups and the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, Knight of Pentacles, Knight of Swords, Page of Wands in the upright position. The Knight of Cups in the reverse position tells me that you're going to have some hesitation as it relates to something, and I'm feeling like this is something of an emotional nature. Your feelings are probably going to override some maybe logical, I want to say, like you make a decision more based on emotion as opposed to looking at the situation from a much more neutral, practical standpoint. Now, I say this because this is in the reverse position, and sometimes when we make decisions that are based on emotions, they don't necessarily, I guess, they don't necessarily support the direction that we're trying to go. But sometimes when it comes to emotions, we tend to get caught up in them, or sometimes it's just a habit, where we feel a certain way and so we act a certain way. So you just have to be careful of that. And I say that because this card fell on that reverse Tower card as well as the Eight of Wands. And sometimes that could be when this card is showing up in the reverse, this kind of gives us some information and it kind of reveals what caused the problem in the first place. And so I'm getting the sense that whatever this huge challenge was that you are now starting to overcome and break free of, it was something because you were caught up in your emotions. And so sometimes that emotional fogginess, so to speak, really disrupts the clarity of mind and that that ability to kind of be neutral and not be so overwhelmed with emotion and feelings and maybe some history, some things that we're attached to that we don't necessarily need to be attached to. Whatever the case may be, just make sure you are aware of that, especially as we move forward throughout the month. Now, we also have the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse position. This tells me that you're going to be definitely feeling like things are coming together. However, they're just not coming together in the way that you had envisioned or in the way that you had hoped or in the way that, excuse me, you even planned for things to come together. Now, it doesn't mean it's a totally negative situation, but it does mean that, you just have to really be careful as far as how you're structuring things, especially as it relates to your money, because sometimes things will show up and you're like, oh, wow, I didn't plan for that. Or, oh, I didn't expect that. So you just have to be careful that, when you do kind of put things in place, when you're, making investments or you're making decisions, just know that you have to be really, really specific and really, really detailed as far as what it is that you want. Because there is some vagueness. There is some uncertainty. And so when you act from that place, the results aren't going to be exactly what you had hoped for, okay? Now, we have the Knight of Pentacles, Knight of Swords, and the Page of Wands. This means that things are going to start happening quickly. The Knight of Swords is all about that fast-moving energy. The Knight of Pentacles is also a fast-moving energy as it relates to velocity, especially the velocity of money. It's how quickly is your money working for you? How quickly is it coming back? Once you make a decision, or you spend, or you make an investment, how quickly is that return on your investment? So you're going to have some things happening rather quickly as we move into the middle of March. And that's going to be, it's going to be exciting for you because things are moving quickly in a positive direction. Things are moving very quickly, and you're going to start seeing returns very quickly. So if you make an investment, or you buy a product, or maybe some equipment for your business, just know that it's going to start paying off for you pretty soon, if not immediately. And we also have the Page of Wands here. Like I said, that is some news information. I'm getting the sense that it's an announcement of some sort, and this definitely benefits you in some way. And I'm feeling like it's really work related. So just know that you're going to get some information. You're going to get a message in the middle of March, and it's definitely going to be something positive and something that really supports you in what you're trying to do. So let's go ahead and clarify this, Cancer, and see what else we need to know for the sign of Cancer as it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance for the month of March 2020. Oh, nice. What do we need to know for the sign of Cancer as it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, abundance for the month of March 2020? What do we need to know for the sign of Cancer? Okay, Cancer. You definitely will have a much better and stronger second half of March than you will in the first half. Not to say that the first half of March is going to be, bad, but you are working through some things that kind of, it's kind of distracting on some level, but at the same time, this is something that you have to deal with. These are things that you have to really work on and really kind of reestablish yourself. And that's basically what's going on in that first half of March. But Cancer, as we move into the second half of March, things are really going to start flowing for you in a much more productive way. Almost, to the point where you're ready to kind of eliminate some things, and you're ready to kind of really hone in on the one thing, or maybe the two things that you believe are really going to be the tipping point in your life and in your money. We have the Sun card here, the Eight of Cups upright. We also have the Four of Cups reverse, Ten of Wands, Queen of Cups, and Hierophant in the reverse position. Now, the Sun card, one of the most positive cards in the deck, like I said, that tells me that the second half of March is just going to be amazing for you, Cancer. Get ready for it, because powerful things are definitely shifting in your favor. Now, we also have the Eight of Cups. Like I said, this tells me that you're ready to kind of walk away from something. You're ready to let something go. And it's not necessarily because it's bad. It's just that your focus is on something that's going to give you a much higher payoff. You don't have time to waste. You don't have energy to waste, and you don't have money to waste. And you're really being more deliberate in your focus and in your choices. Now, you also have the Four of Cups in the reverse position. This tells me that an offer that you probably, it's like you changed your mind on something. It's like maybe a month ago you were really all about this one particular thing, and now that particular thing shows up, but you're just not so fired up about it. It's not that anything's wrong with it. It's just that your attention and your demeanor has changed in relation to this thing. Now, the good thing is that you have the power to say no. And having that power really, really allows you to say yes to other things that are much more important for you. And really allows you to say yes to things that are going to pay off in a much bigger way. Now, you also have the Ten of Wands here. So this is something you have to be careful with, Cancer. I know that Cancers tend to be very much workaholics. And, you know, sometimes you can take on too much too soon. And it can feel like it's an overwhelming burden. Or sometimes you take on responsibilities that really are just not yours. So you have to be very selective and very, like I said, deliberate as you are moving into that second half of March, because there are some things that will slow you down if you let them. Okay, so keep your focus, stay strong, and don't take on too much, and don't take on, you know, responsibilities and obligations that would be much better off, you know, with other people. Don't internalize those things either, and really be careful that you don't kind of allow yourself to get caught up in the burdens and responsibilities of others. Now we have the Queen of Cups here. This is a very emotional and very, sometimes she's a little bit desensitized to certain things. Now the Queen of Cups could actually represent a female, an emotional, highly sensitive female in your life, or sometimes she shows up when it's just that energy that is surrounding you. So you have to really, I guess you can say that you really need to kind of keep your emotions guarded. And you have to be very careful that you don't, excuse me, wear your emotions so publicly. You know, sometimes we have feelings about certain things, but they don't always need to be expressed. Some people know how to manipulate the emotions of others for their own advantage and their own benefit. And because Cancer, you're very in tune with your emotions, and your emotions are very much a big and strong part of you, you're really learning how to kind of keep your emotions very guarded. Now, that's not to say you hold them in, but at the same time, you're very selective as far as who you share certain feelings with and who you allow to kind of come into your emotional circle, so to speak. And this is actually a very good thing. This is something that really kind of preserves your own emotional and mental health. And it's also, excuse me, it's also a representative of you just kind of healing certain emotions, and you not allowing certain emotions to kind of take over your entire well-being. It's a very strong and very positive place to be emotionally, and I feel, Cancer, you're definitely moving into that place, especially in the second half of March. Now, finally, we have the Hierophant here. The Hierophant is all about kind of being rebellious in some way. Sometimes it's going against the grain, and sometimes it's literally cutting yourself off from something that other people think is good for you, but you have decided that that's not exactly what you want to experience, or it's not something that you want to kind of pursue or put any time and energy into. Now, a lot of times the Hierophant is all about religious authority. Sometimes it's about spiritual, it's almost like spiritual warfare sometimes. Although I'm not getting that sense as I look at the cards here, Cancer. I'm getting the sense that you're just kind of cutting yourself off from something that other people think you should be connected to. Now, it could be something of a religious nature, or it could just even be a belief system or an idea, or maybe a way of doing things. Whatever it is, you've decided that for whatever reason, that particular path is no longer serving you, and you have no problem letting it go, moving on, or cutting it out of your life completely. Okay, let's see what else is going on for Cancer as it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance. For the month of March 2020, what do we need to know for the sign of Cancer? What do we need to know for the sign of Cancer as it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance for the month of March 2020? Oh, interesting, Cancer. Okay. So you definitely will be starting a new project. You're going to start seeing things kind of come into play towards the end of March. We have Four of Swords reverse, Five of Swords upright, Ace of Pentacles reverse, Judgment upright, Knight of Swords upright. Then we have the Five of Cups. Very, Cancer, the interesting thing is that you're ready to kind of move very quickly into this new thing. If it's a new project, a new job, a new business, by the time we hit the end of March, you're ready to just kind of go completely. There's nothing holding you back, and you're ready to kind of drop everything and pursue this 110%. Now, while that is very exciting and it's very, motivating and inspiring, you just have to be careful that you just don't go too far too fast. And let's take a look at the cards, and you'll probably understand why I'm saying that. Now we have the Four of Swords in the reverse. Again, this is no holding back. Usually when the Four of Swords is in the upright position, that is taking a step back, retreating, withdrawing, going within. When it's in the reverse position, it means that it's totally the opposite. You're just ready to go, go, go. Now you have to be careful because, like I said, there's some areas where you need to seek counsel and get support and maybe get some mentoring or some information or coaching or something like that. So while you may feel a little anxious and feeling like, yeah, I'm ready to go full hog on this, make sure you really are. Look at the situation or the project from every possible angle and make sure you've got all your bases covered. Now you also have the Five of Swords here. This tells me that there is going to be somebody probably who chooses to not continue with you on something. Somebody is going to be walking away from something that you're involved with. Now, it's not anything negative. It's just somebody makes a different decision and they choose to go a different way. Now, this is going to impact you to some degree because you were not expecting it. Also, it could mean too that you really trusted this person and you really just didn't see this coming. Now, the good thing is that this really kind of puts you in more control, and you don't have to kind of second guess or kind of stall on anything. It's like you can make the decisions and then you can implement them. You don't have to worry about somebody else either slowing things down or holding you back. Now we also have the Ace of Pentacles in the reverse position, and this is a new project. However, it's going to have some delays. It's going to have some where things are going to go and then things will stop. And then they'll go and then they'll stop. Now, it's not something that you can control, right? It's just the circumstances of the situation. However, it doesn't mean that things are not happening and excuse me, and that things are not progressing, but it does mean that things are just not progressing at the rate or the speed that you thought they would. But sometimes you just have to kind of take things in stride and understand that nothing really works out flawlessly, at least nothing that is in our control. But it is a good thing because it means that things are started, things are getting off the ground, things are being put in motion. It's just going to probably take a little bit longer than what you had hoped for. Now we have the Judgment card in the upright. We also have the Knight of Swords in the upright. And remember, we saw this Knight of Swords here in the second week of March. Now, like I said, the Knight of Swords is all about that fast-moving energy. It's things coming in quickly and things going out quickly. So things are going to move very quickly for you as we move towards the end of March, moving into the new month of April. things are going to be happening so fast that you're going to feel like it's almost like things are brand new. It's almost like things are just kind of starting in a way where you're just like, wow, this feels really, really good. I feel like it's a brand new, fresh start. And I feel like I'm really in control. And I feel like I really have the power to make some big decisions. And I say that because of the Judgment card here. The Judgment card is all about a rebirth. It's all about really just kind of coming into your own. It's like coming into your own power. It's like stepping into a new role, especially as it relates to certain things in your life. It's like you're stepping into a new I want to say like a new journey, a new path. It's like you're just really embracing this new phase or this new season of your life. And it's really supporting you in the person that you're trying to become. And it's also kind of reestablishing who you are as a professional, as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, or as, an employee. You really are coming into a place of where things are just happening for you in a way that is just, it's almost like you're in alignment. Or I should say you are in alignment with what you want and the goals you want to achieve. And it's almost like creating this brand new role for yourself in your life. And you're showing up as this successful, ambitious, enthusiastic person who gets the job done. Now, finally, we have the Five of Cups in the reverse position. This tells me that you're just going to be making some decisions and it's like you just don't have any regrets. And you just decide to kind of look at the situation for what it is right now, and you make the decision to kind of just move ahead. You're not getting distracted by your past. You're not getting distracted by the opinions of others. And you may upset a few people along the way. You may kind of ruffle some feathers. You may kind of be seen as, quote, the interesting, person who's kind of doing their own thing. And you know what? You're okay with that. But it does come with a little bit of disappointment because there's people who you thought, like I said, were going to be with you for the long haul, but for whatever reason, they decide to go a different way. And you just have to remember to not take that personally, and not everybody is going to be your biggest cheerleader. It doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. It just means that you're on your own path and that you really are doing what's best and what is serving you at this time. And you don't have to make any excuses or defend that decision or justify your choices to anyone. Overall, Cancer, your month of March is definitely going to have some highs and lows. However, as we get into the second half of March, you're really going to be excited by what you start to see shifting in your favor. You're really going to have some things happening for the benefit of you, not only short term, but also long term. It's like I said, you just really come into your own power and you come into your own delivery of how you want to show up in your own life. All right, Cancer, let's go ahead and pick a Angels and Ancestors Oracle card. And I got Guardian Angel. This is You Are Not Alone. This is a really pretty card. And if you don't know, you are not alone. And you do have angels and ancestors on your side, giving you little intuitive nudges and intuitive hits as far as what you need to do and when. And you are divinely supported. So I just want you to remember that, Cancer, especially as you move throughout the month of March. Just know that you're being divinely guided and you are being shown the way one step at a time. All right, Cancer, I hope that this was helpful. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or observations, feel free to drop those down in the comment section below. I want to thank you so much for spending this time with me. I'll definitely see you again next month.